In this video, I'm going to show you how to make some very special celebration cookies using our head mould, head or face mould. This is the medium face mould and it's a great size for doing these cookies. I'm going to put a lollipop stick into the cookie. These are from PME. They do a few different sizes. Now this is the recipe that I use. It's got to be a recipe that doesn't rise or not much rise in it at all. So I'm going to dust the mould with corn flour. The recipe does go into more detail on our other videos, our other cookie videos, the cookies for Christmas and the wedding cookie video as well. So I've just got some of the dough, got it smooth, pop it into the mould. Now I usually do these flat at the back because of the baking. Normally when I use these heads with the modelling paste for cakes, I do put a ball of paste in and round them at the back so you have the whole head, but because this is going to be baked on a tray, that won't really work. So the stick, the lollipop stick, just press into the back, okay, like this, and then take another piece to put over the back, and then that is ready to come out and go onto a baking tray. So turn it over and just press the mould gently and it comes out like that, and then I can just push the ears in a little bit if they're sticking out too much. Now that must rest before it goes into the oven. It must rest on a baking tray in the fridge. I make the cookie dough and use it straight away in the moulds. I've just put a bigger nose on the figure there because the nose does go very small when you bake it. Yeah, usually you rest your cookie dough for half an hour before using it like pastry, but I rest it once it's moulded because it will be much quicker as well. Okay, so I'll pop that into the fridge for about 15 minutes and then into the low oven at about 140 degrees centigrade, gas mark 2, for about 15 minutes. So this is the baked cookie. Okay, so that one I haven't added an extra nose to. I keep it small if it's for a girl or a woman or a baby. So I'm going to show you how I start to decorate the face, how to dust it and paint it. So rub some powder colour really well into your brush and then brush it onto the cheeks. It's always best to build up cheek colour gradually rather than too much at once that you can't take off. So that's got a nice blush to it now. Then I'm going to paint the eyes. So we use a plain white powder colour and mix with alcohol. You can use water, but it will take longer to dry. You'll have to wait between each colour you paint onto the eye. This will dry almost instantly, so I will be able to paint the next colour straight on top without waiting. You can use vodka or gin if you haven't got isopropyl alcohol, but I find they don't paint quite as well as the alcohol. Okay, so now the eye colour. So again into the lid, and then you can reuse the powder, whatever's left in there when the alcohol dries, you can reuse it. Now she needs to look either up, down, left or right. Never paint the eyes straight in the middle. I see so many figures and characters when people post their cakes like on Facebook and the eyes are always straight in the middle. They look like they've had a fright or a shock most of the time. So to give them more character, paint them nice, big and bright and looking up, down, left or right. So you see how quickly that's dried and goes straight on now with the black for the pupil. Now I want a very, very thin brush and this time water mixed with the powder colour just in a paint palette. I'm using the water because it won't evaporate as quickly as the alcohol. And the eyes are sticking out, so that makes it really easy for the brush to follow round the outside of the eye. And then I just flick out for some eyelashes. Now this is going to be a lady, young lady, so we'll give a nice big long eyelashes. And then line underneath and eyelashes coming off the bottom as well. With men, I don't put eyelashes underneath, I just do them on the top. Okay, and then back to the white brush and a small dot of white into each eye. Little twinkle It really brings the face to life when you do that. And finally, some eyebrows. So again with the water and a little bit of powder, and paint her eyebrows. And what I did forget to say before was, as you paint, turn it round to make it easy for yourself as well. So I'm just going to paint the lips. I've mixed a little bit of pink and lustre. And when you paint the lips, imagine a heart shape. So you're doing the top of the heart here and then the lower lip, but curve it instead of pointing. And you get quite a nice shape there for the girl's lips. Okay, so I'm going to actually turn her into a bride. So I'm going to just stand her on this holder here. It's a cake pop holder. I'm going to, first of all, pipe her hair. So I've got a 42 nozzle and some royal icing. So first of all, we'll pipe her fringe. So we'll sort of do it sweeping over a little bit. And then the rest of her hair. And obviously you can pipe whatever style you want. It is a bit tricky to do a longer hairstyle with these cookies. I'm not going to do right the way around the back because it will take too long for this video. But if you wanted the head to look more 3D, more realistic, you can attach a piece of sugar paste or marzipan or something behind and then pipe over it to fill out the shape. Okay, so I'm just going to pipe the front really, because like I say, it does tend to, for long hair, it does tend to break off. So if I just do this very quickly, I'm sorry I can't show you very well that side. We'll go back now to the front. And then I want to put a veil over her head, the top of her head. So I'll leave that for now and then carry on in a minute. I've got this lace, rose lace mat, and I'm just going to brush it with some lustre. Usually I put cornflour in the moulds, but if I'm just going to do a small area of it. So if I just brush the lustre here and then roll in a small piece of sugar paste. I'll just start to roll it out here so it's nice and thin and easy to roll in. Normally I roll a much bigger piece into this, but I just want to put this in here, and I don't want the back to be sticky and lift up when I press it in. So if I just put some corn flour on, and you can either use your fingers like this or roll very firmly with the rolling pin, and you can see there it's just starting to show through the mould. So I know that's thin enough, that will be okay. And take that off. I've got a nice lacy piece to cut a veil from. So if I just go over with the brush and then take a cutting wheel and just trim it straight. I'm doing this very quickly for the video, but you could use a scalloped cutter to cut a nice shape along the bottom. And then I just want to fold the two edges in, here and here, and then gather it up on the top. Pinch and flatten, and then that will attach to her head, and I'm going to put a flower at the front. So you need to press it in really well. Okay, so it stays put. It would be better with some more icing at the back there, but for now you can just see the edges of it. If you do yours a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'm going to just attach a flower. So I've got my large rose mould. I'm going to use this rose in the corner. So just a little piece of paste. I'll just press that in. Just add a bit more to the back there. And then pull the corner away, turn it over and just flick. It's not stuck, but because it's so small and light, it doesn't just fall out like the bigger pieces do. So we just brush it with the pink and then a little green onto the leaf, and we can attach that to the veil. Oh, forgot to put a little bit of lustre on. They always need a little bit of lustre, don't they? Just give it a little bit of shine. Okay. So really I think the veil should be a little bit larger. But for now I think you can see she is a bride. So I'm going to pipe some hair on the groom now and then give him a top hat. So obviously when he's going to have the hat on, you're not really going to see all of his hair. So we just pipe at the sides here, down that way. Again, this is royal icing and a 42 nozzle. And then it's up to you. You could do some hair coming through from below his top hat. And then again, you would go round the back if you want to, okay? So we'll give him a hat now. So I've got some grey paste. And we'll just make the top shape for his hat. You don't want to do it really big. These are cartoon characters, so we can sort of just do a little shape for his hat. And then a disc, an oval for the bottom. So if you just take a piece of paste, flatten it out, and that will go on here. So we'll just give him a little bit more hair for it to attach to. And then the top part of his hat can go here. I'm not worrying about the brown royal icing showing through because he can have a little band of paste around the hat. So if I just roll a strip very quickly, use the cutting wheel, trim that so it's a nice size, and then brush the bottom of the hat with a little glue. You might just be sliding back a little bit there. And then put the band of paste around his hat. Okay. And now I can see where I need to pipe his hair, so I can pipe some more hair just here. You could even have some hair sort of sticking up as well out from the hat. Okay, and so on, and then leave him to dry. If his head was built up a bit at the back, the hat would be a lot easier to support and stay in place. But I'll put him up, I'm going to put him up that way for now. And hopefully it will stay where it is. So the next face I'm going to do is an older face. We'll do this as an older man. Now, before he went in the oven, you can just about see I've marked a few little lines with a Dresden tool. I think maybe I should have gone a little bit deeper, but there's some on his forehead here, some at the side of his eyes. I've embossed little chubby cheeks at the side. I've put a bigger nose on. So you do a few things. So he's going to have some grey hair. I'll just start this piping nozzle off. It's dried up a little bit. So I'm going to leave him with a bald head. So I'm just going to pipe his hair at the side here. You could even give him a bit of a comb over if you wanted to. Just pipe like this in both directions, and then the same this side. Pipe down 2 or 3 times and then up this way. So it's sort of thinning out like this. Okay, and then we could finish him off with a moustache. So just 2 piped like long shells. Very distinguished older gentleman. He could be the father of the bride maybe. And then finish off with a baby. So for baby's hair, actually I think I'll do the dummy first. It'll be easier to show you putting the dummy onto the baby. The faces are all pretty much painted the same, but you've just got to think about things like the eyebrows. You've got to be very careful with the baby's eyebrows, not to do them too heavy. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue over the baby's mouth and take a piece of paste, roll the ball, flatten it slightly, put it over the mouth. Then I've got a cocktail stick. I'm putting a hole in the centre, and if I twist that round, you see it makes the hole a little bit bigger and easier to put the handle in. So I'll put some corn flour onto my hand and then take a tiny piece of paste. I think I'll go smaller actually. Very small piece of paste, and roll it like this, little thin sausage. Then bring the two ends together and press gently. Then get your cocktail stick, put it over the cocktail stick, resting it on your finger like this. Brush that little point with a little bit of glue, take it over to the dummy, and you see that point now. Because it's on the stick and resting on your finger, you can just guide it in to that hole. These are great for baby showers, obviously. You've got a little dummy there in the baby's mouth now. And then we're going to give the baby some hair. So the baby doesn't need much hair, obviously. You just pipe a few little tufts of hair. Just squeeze and pull off. And you've got little tufts of hair for the baby. So there's lots of possibilities with these faces. You can do them to match guests. So, you know, they all know who's who. There's lots of other celebration cookies and occasion cookies you can make with our moulds. They're nice deep moulds, so they're great for anything, even like using the teddy bears, any of the animals, like this is the owl from the woodland animals, you can put little hats on them, and so on. There's farm animals, zoo animals, jungle animals, lots of things for children's birthdays and parties. There's lots of other things for weddings, the flowers, if you look at our video for the flowers. Lots of ideas. So if you go to our website, you'll see all the other videos there. It's www.karendaviscakes.co.uk. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you've enjoyed it.